I'm Becky and I'm a project manager on the railway, and I'm here this weekend to learn about the volunteering opportunities on the Bluebell Railway. In this episode, I'm going to get to drive a locomotive and be a fireman. There isn't much room here, so our young cameraman and director of photography, George, is the only other person in our crew coming with me. How important would you say volunteers are to the Bluebell Railway?
Quite simple, really simple. If there weren't any volunteers, there wouldn't be a Bluebell Railway. It is as simple as that.
Without volunteers, you couldn't financially run it.
You couldn't run it, no.
Do any of your friends volunteer? Are you
Loads of my friends, most of my friends all volunteer up here. They also volunteer at other railways, but we all met here.
Volunteering here, I've been about 23 years now. Started off when I was 11 years old and never left.
If anyone was thinking of volunteering and they're thinking, I need to do some volunteering but I don't know what to do it in, what would you say to them to do if they're thinking of coming here?
It's not just, you don't just volunteer in Loco. There's signals, there's station staff, there's customer services, there's working directly with the public, there's museum,
infrastructure.
Infrastructure, so, the building of the tracks, maintaining the carriage and wagon workshops.
It's a massive
loads
spectrum.
Of jobs.
I work as a project manager on what people at the Bluebell Railway would call the big railway. In my job, I ensure that the projects I work on run to programme and to budget. The company I work for encourages its staff to get involved in voluntary work, and many more companies are now seeing the benefits. This brings many advantages not only for the organisations that receive the voluntary help, but also the individuals undertaking it, and this is something I shall explore as part of my visit to the Bluebell Railway. I arranged to speak with my boss, Matt Bain, to discuss the benefits of encouraging his employees to undertake voluntary work.
We provide our staff with 5 charity days per year. They can use these to support any charity that they like, as long as it's registered. We see a lot of benefits, not only to the charities that we support, but also to the individual themselves.
Earlier, birthday boy Ben showed me how to prepare a locomotive in the yard. Well, today, under the supervision of his dad, Tim, who is an experienced driver, Ben is going to show me the ropes with a locomotive. On the train we have driver Tim, Ben, fireman Charlie, me, and cameraman George. So I'm assuming that you've at least driven before, or you've had a go at driving with supervision beforehand.
Yes, so as a fireman, once you pass your firing test, you spend most of your time firing because that's your job role, but most drivers will then let you have a go driving. Yeah. Because that then becomes you start learning how to drive the engines. And it's your first time on the controls, it's a bit scary because you're driving sort of potentially 150 tonnes depending on the engine.
I was going to say they're quite big trains.
Yeah, I mean this one's only a little one. Little to mid-size is this one. Some of our bigger ones like the Archibald Sinclair or the 9F, they're getting up there, and the first time you have a go on them, you sort of go, the hell do I do? What's going to happen?
That's good to know.
It's scary. It is scary, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it, and the better you get. It's fantastic. I mean, I revel in the fact that I can come down here and I get to play with this. Yeah.
Before I get to drive, with Charlie's help, I need to set the points using a ground frame. Which is what you've got in your hand?
Yep, just key.
Yep.
Key.
Oh my gosh. I'm being trusted to do something. I'm assuming it's in there.
Yeah, so this one unlocks everything on the frame. So we just pull that over and you put the key in and turn it.
What way?
Clockwise, I think. That's it. So that's unlock that lever. So pull that lever towards you. That's it. All the way through. And we do number 1.
God, that's so cool. It's actually really stiff.
Yeah. Not easy. And number 3, this puts the points over. Might need both hands for this one.
I should have worked at the gym more.
Bit, then there you go, the latch falls in. And then number 4, which is that.
Is this another
there.
tough one?
No, this one's alright. Just that signal there. See?
Alright.
The signal's now green.
Oh.
Pull it all the way back. There you go.
And it's locked.
Yep.
Cool.
That gives them a green signal, so we can run all the way down there now.
So if I'm, because I'm going to be driving soon, what is your advice and tips for me?
Take your time. Don't be too scared. Listen to everything you're told, and don't worry, because whoever is behind you, helping you, will guide you along on every step of what you do.
And they'll definitely come in if I'm doing anything unsafe anyway.
They will. They'll make sure you don't do anything that's dangerous. But it'll be a fantastic experience.
Oh, brilliant.
You get like the proper small stuff like that.
Like, explain it like I'm an actual idiot.
Right, forwards or backwards,
Yeah.
you can see on the gauge where it says mid, that's like neutral. So anything this side of it is going backwards, anything that side of it's forward.
Okay. It's really nervous.
But it's already in full forward, so
I don't need to touch that?
The trick is just to be gentle with it.
yeah, when you open the regulator, don't do it like a lot, do it a little so you see yourself start moving.
What thing am I touching first then? This?
It's going to be that.
It'd be that?
Yeah.
And that's like your accelerator basically?
Same brakes first, same brakes first.
Which is that?
Yeah, so when we get the right of way, you see it pushes in there, so you pull it in, and put it all the way forward, and then lock it.
So I want to pull that all the way that way?
Yeah.
Right, it's going to sound really cute. So when we get the all clear to go, I pull that forward and then like pull it forward, try and lock it and then go all the way.
You see on the back there,
Yeah.
there's like a spring, you pull that in,
Yeah.
and then push it all the way forward and let
Pull
go,
this
and
in,
it will
push
lock
it all
in.
the way back and it locks in that
Yeah,
way.
and the teeth,
And
yeah.
then I
And then you
start
open that a little bit.
slowly.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like this is a lot of pressure. Literally. Pressure. You don't have a long train behind you.
You see that lever down there?
This one?
Yeah, pull that back.
Yeah?
Right back. Right back. That's it.
And keep it there?
Yeah. Is that as far back as it'll go? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. What that does is it lets all the condensation and the water out of the cylinders.
Okay.
They can't compress.
Can I do anything like really awful?
Not really, because if you do, then we'll just step in.
Good. I feel like my first driving lesson all over again. And that was like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So, do that.
Yeah?
Yeah. All the way forward. As far forward as it will go.
Yeah. Did I get it?
That's forward. Okay, and open the regulator a little bit.
Slowly, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. Open it more. Okay. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah?
No, more.
More?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
A bit more, yeah.
Bit more?
There we go.
Am I driving a train? Do I leave this now?
Yeah, leave that for a bit.
Oh, it's quite easy.
Trust me, it wasn't that easy. I was so scared I'd spin the wheels or something stupid. How about that for my first go at pulling away? At least I didn't stall it.
Hopefully I've done the points right now. I feel like a dog with their head out the window.
Right, so one is back a bit.
This one?
Yeah, no, that one. So push that forward.
Push this forward.
Yeah. No, push it forward.
That way. A little.
Away from you. Like that.
Oh, I thought you meant just a little bit.
One that anti-clockwise, yeah. Anti-clockwise.
So this way, yeah. I'm just going to make sure. The whole one?
I feel like I should double check everything.
Keep going.
Yeah?
Keep
going again.
Keep going. Keep going. Alright, stop there. See where it is? Yeah, that was it.
For a 17-year-old, Ben knows his stuff.
Alright, open the regulator a little bit.
This one?
Yeah,
towards me?
little bit.
Is that a little bit?
Yeah, that's right.
This is where it's panicking. It's going faster, so I'm like,
Going
oh.
down a little bit.
But moved out that way.
A tiny bit, that's it.
That's actually sunny now as well.
A little bit more.
That way.
Right. So you say the numbers on it, bring it back to 35.
So by doing this,
And you've got one.
like that?
A bit more.
35? Oh, all
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
down.
35 there.
That's 35.
Yeah. That's it. Right, and open the regulator a bit more.
That's that.
Yeah.
Towards me, yeah?
This regulator controls the steam from the boiler to the cylinders. In other words, how much pressure of steam is available to the cylinders. Opening it up like this makes the locomotive go faster.
When I say shut off, push it all the way forward. Yeah, but not
All
yet.
the way that way.
Yeah.
Shutting off the regulator shuts off the supply of steam to the cylinders, so the locomotive has no power source. With the immense weight of the train, it doesn't necessarily start slowing down yet.
And that's the brake, so be ready. You want to keep it, when you brake, you want to keep it about in the middle there.
What, so you want that?
Yeah. Yeah, go on, give it a little bit. Right, more, you can hear it. More, yeah, do about there. But not too much, otherwise the water will disappear.
On a downhill gradient or slope, the brake needs to be applied to regulate the speed.
Keep it like that, and then run in position again.
Braking also uses valuable steam to work, so we have to keep an eye on the pressure gauge.
Yeah, so you want to keep doing that, now keep on top of it. So, don't let the speed get away from you.
Yeah.
Like that. Like you're in a car, keep
So
it
keep
constant
doing
speed.
now.
Yeah.
You're just on the track there?
That's it. Yeah. Go on, do it again. Keep it there, keep it there.
Keep it like there.
A bit more, a bit more.
A bit more like it. Oh.
And again. Still there. Alright.
Do you take the seat?
Alright.
Quickly take over so you can do it properly.
I'll stop it.
That was really good. If I was left to load devices, we definitely would have had a crash by now though.
I'm not brave enough to bring the locomotive to a stand in the station, so I asked them to take over at this point.
There's just so many things that you need to like think about constantly.
It's juggling.
Yeah.
So many different things to change out.
Because it's not like looking just out there. You have to look out there in case there's anything on the track like there was earlier. Then there's that little thing down there, then there's that wheelie thing, then there's that, then there's that.
Right.
After I'd finished impressing Tim with my knowledge of the controls, it was time for Charlie to let me have a go at being a fireman.
Now, you want to put some coal in the back.
Right.
You get some coal on your shovel.
Got
Bag down the bottom.
What's that for? Oh, down the bottom?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go for like a tiny bit now just to get
fine.
the right... Right.
Hold your hands the other way round.
I'm going to go for something like that just for now.
Put your hands the other way round.
Oh, right.
So that one at the top, that one at the bottom. So
That's
get a bit
really
on.
weird. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do some on the left-hand side.
Right, what is the left-hand side?
Left and right, same on the front. And on the right. Do some of the
I was
luxury
going to
now.
say. You're so awesome. I'm basically a driver, a fireman now.
Good, isn't it?
After the excitement of my day on the footplate, there was one more thing that was intriguing me and I forgot to ask. How would you stop the train if something went wrong in the carriages? I'm certain that my driver and fireman friends in the pub will know.
I've noticed in the loco that is very far away from where the passengers actually sit. If there was an emergency on the coaches, how would you stop, or how would you know how to stop the train?
Well, we already know. It's all, as the braking system, it's linked in with the coach. So if they were to pull the cord, it comes on the engine and you come to a stop. It dumps the whole lot. So if you're going along and you see everything come and you slap your head on the boiler and then burn your face, it's like something's not right. Shout at the fireman, what you doing, you idiot. But then you go and see the guards, what's happened, said, oh, I don't know, and then we'll go and look.
And then you go and have a look and see you sort of pulled it, whether it's emergency or not.
So I had that scenario as part of your driving test, some people get it. The guard is asked to drop the brake as a scenario and how you deal with the situation. It's all the practices you go through to sort of becoming a driver.
Time then to meet a guard.
So what do you actually do, being the guard?
I am in charge of the train. The driver thinks he's in charge, but in fact it's me. I'm responsible for the safety of all the passengers on the train.
Do you have a lot of communication with the driver?
I have no communication with the driver. I only can speak to him when we're in a station.
Oh, okay then. So you say earlier on that you look after the passengers on the train.
Yes.
If there was an emergency, what happens?
All the carriages have communication cords, so the passengers could pull that in case of emergency and the train would stop.
Okay.
It's then my job to find which coach has the emergency and to decide what action to take depending on what kind of emergency it is.
So would that pull cord stop the train independent of the driver? So the driver would?
It would. It would apply all the brakes on the train and bring it to a halt, yes.
And then obviously it would be your job to tell the driver what happened as well, whether to proceed or not?
Well, there's an indicator on each coach saying which one has the cord pulled.
Ah, okay.
So I would go to that coach, investigate the emergency, and then inform the driver as to what action I was going to take.
We've spoken to a few people today, especially like signalmen and obviously some drivers.
Yeah.
Do you have to do any training to be a guard?
You certainly do. The training takes about a year. On
a year?
Yes, on a very part-time basis, weekends, that sort of thing, because we teach in a class of 6 and everybody has to be available, and it's quite difficult getting 6 people together.
I can imagine, especially if they're volunteering as well.
So the training consists of about 6 or 8 classroom lessons. Then you are trained by going up and down on the train with a guard. And then at the end of that, there's a written examination, and you must get 80% mark, otherwise you won't get through. And then you are given a full day's assessment, actually working a train to see whether you're competent to do it.
If you weren't a guard or weren't a ticket inspector or anything else, is there another job that you would want to try?
I think I'm a bit too old to become a driver, unfortunately.
You never say never, you could do it.
I would like to have a go at being a fireman one day.
Oh, I've learned about the fireman. I thought it was about putting fires out, but it's actually basically putting fires out.
Well, no, it's our job to keep the fire going.
So we've been asking people to sum up their voluntary experience in 3 words. What 3 words would you use to sum it up?
Oh, blimey, that's a difficult one. Because
that is a difficult one, and people normally have to think about it for a while.
I don't think I've ever said anything with only 3 words.
We'll let you off that one anyway.
Thank you very much.
Just to let you know anyway, like every time we have asked everyone to sort of sum it up in 3 words, they've all been positive. Like no one said, I mean, the only bad thing that we've gotten is dirty. That's the only word. And that was someone that was obviously a cleaner, and then he went up to a fireman after that. So, and that was it, which I can actually agree with, because you do get quite dirty, and I didn't even get fully mucked in.
You certainly do.
So when I was first asked to come and volunteer at the Bluebell Railway to see what it's all about, I was really hesitant, and I thought it was going to be a load of old guys who love trains too much. But in actual fact, I've learned that volunteering is just really good. It gives you so much. It gives you as much as you put into it. And I've had so many brilliant experiences, met so many good people. So I found that there's loads of diverse people from all different walks of life, all different careers, just working together in a community and really spending their time here but getting a lot back. I've seen everything that the Bluebell Railway has to offer, and that's made me reflect a lot on voluntary work in general, really, as in it's not just about the time that you give to that voluntary work, it's about what you get in return. I mean, I was asking people all the time here what they love so much about it, and it seems like the friendships you make that turn into even family, memories that you make, the skills that you get from it as well. It seems like with volunteering, you just get so much more back than what you actually give. And it has inspired me now to volunteer myself, maybe somewhere a little bit more close to home than the unique Bluebell Railway, because it truly is somewhere that's totally unique.
Then he gives us another one.